Just another beautiful day on the internet. Can't wait to see what's out there for me. Hopefully it's something heartwarming and amazing. Oh, what's that over there? What is that thing? Oh God, it's smiling. Well, it is standing at a podium. I think that must mean that it has to be smart at least, right? I mean, it couldn't be standing at a podium because of its looks. Oh, I should stop saying it. They're definitely a person. Okay, that was mean. But I'm gonna keep it in, because it's fucking hilarious. I'm the rogue thread, and you're here for part 2 of the C-16 debate critique. Today we are going to pwn Mary Bryson. I'm so excited. Let the bloodbath begin.
What a wild ride we're on this morning. We're all doing okay so far, I think.
Well, nobody's gotten triggered and used the help that they claim to have outside. So, we're doing okay, I guess.
As a Trinity College and OISE alumnus, I'm typically delighted to return to the University of Toronto. Today is different.
Why? Because you're so afraid of getting put into a gas chamber by Dr. Peterson? Oh wait, that's coming later. Sorry.
To make sense of what it means to be here today, I've found myself going back frequently to the 1989 debate at Western on the subject of race and IQ between Philip Rushton and David Suzuki. The stakes then and now are very familiar.
At Social Justice Warrior Debate School here, we start out not making an argument, not refuting someone's argument, but slinging fucking mud.
To borrow David Suzuki's opening words on that day, quote, "I do not want to be here. I do not want to dignify this man and his ideas in public debate," end quote.
I disagree with both you and David Suzuki in this instance. If you did have a good idea, you would not be afraid to debate the terrible idea. It would lose in a debate. You should take joy in being here.
Yesterday, Bill C-16 passed third reading in the House of Commons, and tomorrow is a Trans Day of Remembrance. If you only hear this, know that I am unwavering in my belief that the fundamental rights to safety and the humanity of trans and non-binary people are not up for debate.
I love the astronomical projection here. She's just so stupid. She's saying that essentially people who agree with Jordan B. Peterson are just trying to damage the trans community, which is terrifying. Not to mention completely untrue. We just want to help them as best we can without infringing on other people.
There was
Yes, I'll be silent. Clap, cultists, clap. Sound louder.
There was, in 1989 at Western, as now, an extraordinary media frenzy concerning the apparent threat to academic freedom posed by the mere possibility that academic freedom is not an absolute guarantee, that as scholars, our relationship with knowledge and with the public trust is tempered by responsibilities and limitations.
I'm sorry, did you think we were doing experiments where we were starving trans and non-binary people? That's the kind of implementation that they were talking about, not calling people by their pronouns.
Of crucial import to my argument today is that this is a relationship structured not on juridical grounds. This is not about the law, but on ethical grounds. The very real effects of the knowledge claims that we make as scholars require that our claims be subjected to rigorous critical scrutiny.
They should. When's the last time one of your papers went through critical scrutiny, though?
And there is no set of knowledge claims more important to subject to critical scrutiny than statements that appear to perpetuate and to incite already existing forms of hatred, violence, and prejudice.
Perfect. Now show me where people have been hateful violent or prejudicial against trans people in the academic community, and not calling someone by their pronouns isn't really an option. It could be a mistake. It could be that you just don't remember them all the time. That's not a big ground to fight on. Oh, and yeah, I do see it coming. Is she gonna say, "Ma protected groups"?
Toward members of minority groups. We need to identify and address the claims made in the recent public works of Jordan Peterson, claims about trans people, claims about the validity of gender identity, claims about the proper use of pronouns, and claims about academic freedom rights.
He has some valid concerns in the fact that if you don't want to call somebody by their pronouns, you're going to be expelled from the university, and you cannot fund your research. That is not the same as what you're trying to equate it to.
And let's be clear, we have a unique difficulty here today.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Thank you for writing my jokes for me.
In subjecting these claims to scholarly scrutiny. What kind of claims can you have in amateurish videos?
Better ones than you got, you idiot.
Although this man is making these claims as Dr. Jordan Peterson, as a professor and a clinical psychologist employed at a great Canadian university, the claims are not being made in relation to any publicly accessible body of peer-reviewed scholarship.
Your faculty alone has made a joke of peer review. You only peer review people's work who you think are right. This is confirmation bias and completely destroys peer review at its core.
So why this? Why now? The recent public works of Jordan Peterson provide a fabulous case study of the cultural production of true believers.
Damn it, I wish I had access to auto-tune. I would so do a share joke right now. But seriously, you're the one who's the believer at this point. You have provided absolutely no evidence to back your claims.
The cultural production of ignorance in an age of reactionary populism.
You're talking about yourself again. These jokes just make themselves.
The cultural historian of cancer, Robert Proctor, coined the term agnotology to describe systematic attention to the production of ignorance. And let's not beat around the bush. Bad science is deadly, whether in the area of cancer or gender and population health.
Oh, we do agree on some things. I hate when that happens.
The cultural production of ignorance does not point to a vacuum, but rather represents a deliberate relationship to knowledge that is consequential in our lives. For Proctor, the tactics used by the tobacco industry provide a perfect example of how doubt and controversy are enlisted to produce ignorance.
So you mean like 99% of what you do? You buffoon.
So let's take a look at how consequential and studied ignorance works in relation to gender.
I mean, you would know it best. You'd do it the most.
Here are the major claims of Dr. Peterson's recent public works.
You know what? There is a video that I will link in the description, and I will put a card to up here, that actually explains this is an entire misquote, and she is completely misrepresenting what he said.
I'll carry on.
No, I'm the one who's in control here. This is my video. You may be able to police pronouns for now, but you cannot police my videos. But please, let me make fun of you some more.
Rather than to address himself to the scientific evidence concerning gender identity and expression, and by adopting rhetorical strategies more common to BreitbartNews.com than a university professor's lecture, Dr. Peterson goes on to discredit the very constructs on political grounds instead of on grounds provided by scholarly evidence.
Well, since you don't engage in science, he thought he would explain it in a way that you might understand it, you idiot.
That these constructs are, in no particular order, leftist, radical, and politically correct. On the subject of pronouns and gender expression, Dr. Peterson is emphatic that, quote, I don't recognize another person's right to determine what pronouns I use to address them. I won't do it.
Again, you're taking it out of context, you idiot. You're just really good at spinning rhetoric. Actually, no, you're bad at that too.
For the vast majority of people, he goes on to say, gender identity and sexual orientation, and I guess he means sex, are the same thing, end quote. As for the definition of transgender, Dr. Peterson claims that, and I quote, I don't believe that these people, these terms stand for good things. I think that these people use these terms as a pretense that they stand for good things, as a pretext for them to continue their nefarious activities, end quote. Well,
I love the fact that you took that as a personal insult, because it was, and it's true. Well, nefarious might be a little bit overboard, but...
this is hardly the stuff of academic scholarship.
And you think you can do a better job?
I'm a member of the Global Education Initiative of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health.
That means that if any one of those scientific studies was proven wrong, you'd be out of a job.
And I can tell you, without a shred of doubt, that there is no link between the public claims made by Professor Jordan Peterson about gender generally and transgender specifically, and a body of easily accessible peer-reviewed scholarship.
I've already said why this doesn't mean shit.
This body of peer-reviewed research knowledge provides conclusive evidence that whereas anatomical sex is perhaps dimorphically categorical, and that's only if we choose to ignore intersex, that secondary sex characteristics cannot be argued simplistically to be determined by chromosomal sex, and that there is highly significant diversity in gender identity and expression, which exists on a continuum that reveals persistent differences that cannot be explained by sex assigned at birth.
Yes, then why are we equating it to gender then? You should be arguing that it's something else.
Gender identity and expression are dynamic, biosocial aspects of human diversity that are culturally and socially in a complex relationship with matter.
What? They're in a complex relationship with matter? Oh boy, Thunderfoot, I think somebody's calling you to make a really easy video to kill them on.
Gender identity and expression are linked both to the extraordinary plasticity of human life and the fluidity of identity, and as well, and this is where we must pay close attention.
You paying close attention? What a joke.
Linked to gender-based violence.
Damn it.
To minority stress.
Damn it.
And threats to a whole host of rights in Canada that are not up for debate here today.
Oh, that's cute. But what are you doing now? Well, I guess it's not really debating. You're just kind of attacking his personal character. Well, I'm gonna skip along here. She just keeps repeating the same things over and over and over.
Academics are never free to distribute totally bogus claims while trading on the value provided by their title as a professor in a great Canadian university.
Hello, Projection. It's good to see that you're still here. I thought you'd have left a long time ago. This lady's way too good at it. You don't need to stay. Please leave.
Faced with Philip Rushton's perpetuation of racist assumptions in his research on race and IQ in the 1989 debate, David Suzuki concludes that one can only infer, quote, he is either grossly ignorant or deliberately mischievous.
Your self-awareness here is just amazingly non-existent.
The institution of the public university cannot and must not sanction ignorance. And most emphatically, we must denounce the deliberate cultural production of ignorance.
best thing you've said all video. Oh wait, you think I'm the fucking ignorant one.
We can and we must do better. And we must do better, not because it is prescribed by the law, but because we have an ethical commitment to contribute to the advancement of knowledge in a democratic society. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that was just her thank you for winning the gold medal in Olympic mental gymnastics. Good job. If you like what you saw today, subscribe and hit the like button. And I have a Twitter. You might want to follow it. And there's comments down below. Feel free to flame me if you want. See you next time.